Well, hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will, I'm an ecologist by training, and this is Empires of the Undergrowth. And today we are jumping into Frontline, which is another Leafcutter Ant mission where the army ants are on the move. So let's jump right into it with challenge mode on medium difficulty again, and we are again going to use the taunt ability rather than the stun. And here we are once more, kind of an established colony.
This small leafcutter colony has established a foothold in a clearing near the base of a tree. Their location provides prime access to lucrative harvesting grounds which have gone unchallenged for the past few weeks. However, unbeknownst to the ants, the peace is about to be broken. A scourge is drawing in. It will be here by morning. To make matters worse, overground swarms of parasitic phorid flies are beginning to hatch. Leafcutter innards provide perfect incubation chambers for the young of these insidious insects.
So before we're going out, we're just clearing a bit of the nest here so that we can expand and build and stuff here. We did have a
beetle larvae pose a serious threat to the minim workers. They will need to be exterminated quickly.
Not much of a problem for our larger ants though. Alright, time to just quickly go into this section. The idea is that I'm just quickly getting ready so that I don't have to come back with my media to come and clear the predators that will be in the nest in a moment. So we'll head out we'll head out shortly. There we go, there's another little velvet worm again. Oh, I love velvet worms. The velvet worms, of course, capable of spraying a sticky slime that they will then use to trap their prey and also kind of chase away predators that are disturbing them. So that is a defense mechanism, but at the same time can also be used to catch their prey and immobilize it so they can
the ants
bite
have
them.
Uncovered a heterophrynus Battersea whip spider hiding beneath the leaf litter. This unnerving arachnid feels its way through the undergrowth with modified antenna-like forelegs. When it finds a target, it snatches forward with enormous pedipalps, impaling its victim on deadly spines.
So exactly, as the narrator then mentions, the whip spider here, also known as a tailless whip scorpion. There are tailed whip scorpions, and then there are the tailless whip scorpions as well. So if I do happen to say whip scorpion, it's because in South Africa I know this as a whip scorpion, whereas generally around the world the tailless whip scorpions are known as whip spiders. Because of course scorpions have got a nice tail at the back and spiders generally don't. But this is neither a spider nor a scorpion. This is a type of arachnid, similar to spiders and scorpions, because it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of legs or pairs of legs, and then the pedipalps in the front. Now, if you're looking at spiders, the pedipalps that we have in front here, that in the whip spiders here are actually like very spiny. Those are the little things that we see in front next to the main jaws. Like in jumping spiders, for example, very often these pedipalps are a little bit more adorned, a little bit fluffier, very often used to attract a partner or to intimidate a rival, but also used to kind of mash food particles so that they can eat it more easily. They use the base of the pedipalps to actually mush the food a little bit so that they can actually ingest it better or more easily. And in the case of scorpions, the pedipalps are of course the pincers that we see in the front of scorpions. And here with the whip spiders, or the tailless whip scorpions, it's somewhere in between. It's not quite a pincer, but it is a raptorial limb. They can use it to grasp their prey. Raptorial, of course, referring to catching or grasping in this case. So absolutely love it. And then, as the narrator also mentioned, they feel their way with this antenna-like 4 limbs. So these are the first set of legs. You can see here, there's one coming from the right hand side here, one coming from the left hand side there, and we call these antenniform limbs because, well, they are antenna-like, so antenniform. And they're not used for walking, instead they are just used to feel ahead of this whip spider so they can find their food and potentially also figure out that, oh goodness, there is a predator right in front of me, I should probably avoid it. So they feel their way around with that. They do also have eyes, you can see there. There's a set of eyes right in front there and then 2 to the side as well.
Waste is building up in the fungus gardens.
Oh yes.
The leafcutters need to dig out a refuse dump.
Okay, so we are going to, of course, make a nice little section here for our ants to drop the leaves. And we're also going to, I think, have the refuse dump a little bit out of the way here, because we need to actually get that started as well. And then let's quickly just expand, for now at least, the minor workers here, because along with each of these brood chambers, we are going to get a minimum. Oh, there's another rove beetle, but that rove beetle is kaput now. It is gone. Oh, lots of little seedlings here that we can collect. Now, I think the first night is really going to be very important to get as many leaves as possible, because otherwise we are going to be destined for death when the army ants arrive.
A few moments later.
Several meters south of the nest, a legion of nomadic Eceton Berkeley army ants are preparing to march. They set up camp late last night, and will now conduct daily swarming raids on the surrounding areas until they see fit to move on. This humble leafcutter stronghold will soon lie directly in their path.
I won't lie, I would love to see the Eceton Berkeley ants. I would love to see army ants. We don't have army ants in South Africa. We do, however, have driver ants that we'll also see in the Matabele ant missions. Those are relatives of army ants. And,
the army
here
ants
they
have
come.
arrived. They will sweep eastward, swarming everything they find. Larvae-filled ant colonies are particularly ripe for culling. Only a substantial defensive force with the right tools to repel the aggressors will be left alone. The leafcutters must prove to the invaders that they are more trouble than they are worth.
I'm just setting up a whole bunch of minor workers for now, just so we've got a good base of minimum workers to do their thing. I do realize that we also need more refuse dumps here, but I have more or less marked off where not to cross with it.
If the army ants can be pushed back beyond leafcutter territory, they will likely give this area a wide berth until it's time for them to relocate their nest.
Exactly. So if it is not worth a predator's time, they generally won't do stuff that's going to end up in their death. So if there were like a massive amount of awesome food in this nest and they had to lose a few individuals to get it, well, for them that will be an acceptable loss. So it will be a case of literally like some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice the queen is willing to make.
Occasionally, scouts will head out from the swarm frontier in search of live prey for the horde. If they find anything of significance, they will call for reinforcements. A battalion of soldiers can respond in seconds.
Let's upgrade our refuse dumps here. Yeah, so of course now the army ants have already raided to this side, and army ants are really good at what they do. They will be raiding and then getting as much of the food as they possibly can in an area, and if there's no more food left there, they will extend in a different direction.
Attempting to lay eggs into the heads of ants on the foraging trail.
It seems the phorid flies have shifted from over here where they were
injected one of the workers with
over
an
here.
egg. The ants' internal organs will be slowly dissolved and consumed by the developing larva.
Alright, so of course in the previous video I did talk a little bit more about the phorid flies. If you want to learn a bit more about them, check out the video, it's right up there.
The battle has begun.
Oh, goodness, there is a leaf mimic praying mantis down here. Oopsie daisy. Oh, there's another one over there. Oopsie. Okay. Right, let's get the bigger ones to come and fight, shall we? You see, brilliantly camouflaged. Unless you knew it was here, you wouldn't be able to see it. Unfortunately, we do not have mages yet, but we have gotten rid of that one there. Let's just get rid of this one as well. Alright, now that that is sorted, let's just check out here. I'm pretty sure, yes, I'll be able to make quite a few more media. Oh, wonderful. There we go. Just need one more. But I think we have, yeah, we have run out of
The colony is starving.
leaves.
There is not enough food to feed the new brood.
Okay, it seems it is nightfall again now, so the army ants are no longer going to arrive. They are going to arrive by morning, which means this is now our chance to get as many leaves as we possibly can. However, nighttime is not safe. Nighttime is still dangerous. So luckily we do have quite a bit of leaves we can get here. I think this one at the bottom here is almost done. 120 leaves we can still harvest. I am using my miners. That's mainly because there was no danger to this side. We do have, oh, a rove beetle larva coming out here. Hopefully, yeah, this medium will also come and help, and another medium will also come and help there. Okay, so that's fine. The trail is safe once more. So for me, the idea is just to try and get my forces built up so that I can deal with the army ants when they arrive tomorrow again. Oh, look at that. So what we have here is a type of katydid known as, well, known by many different names. It's known as the spiny devil katydid, or spiny devil bush cricket, or thorny devil bush cricket, or thorny devil katydid, or conehead katydid. It's got a whole bunch of names. Most of them, of course, referring to the fact it is a katydid, or a bush cricket, and it's got a lot of spines all over its body. And its scientific name, its genus name, is Pan-acanthus. And pan referring to everywhere, acanthus, or canthus is spiny, so it's got spines everywhere, and including on the head. Let's see if we can actually find a live specimen that isn't actually clustered around, like this one over here. Ah, there we go. Took me a while, but I got one. Two, actually. Hello there, beautiful. You are gorgeous. Is this a male or a female? This is a female. Notice the very, very long ovipositor that they will be using to lay their eggs, and they lay their eggs in the soil, not like the phorid flies that we have around that will be laying their eggs in our ants. Instead, these guys are laying their eggs in the soil, like a typical grasshopper would. Now, they are mostly classified as omnivorous, though apparently they do have very strong predatory tendencies. In other words, they would prefer eating meat. Pretty much like a lot of South Africans I know. They would prefer eating meat, although they are omnivorous. So they will eat plants as well, but they love eating all kinds of other animals. So we should be able to see, yeah, there we go, some very, very nice strong jaws in the front of this spiky-headed one over here, of this katydid. I love them. I don't love them when they attack my ants, but I absolutely love it. And of course, they have got all these spines as an anti-predator mechanism. And it is there to try and keep things away from all of their vulnerable bits. So it works very well, I believe, in the game. When we are fighting them, we do get damage inflicted upon us. Oh, and there's the velvet worm. Velvet worm has sprayed its sticky goo on its sticky slime on our ants there, on our miner workers. And I think some of them did die there. That is also a sacrifice I am willing to make. I think we should get some mages here. I think that's what we should be doing. Let's get our first mages. They're just going to be there to defend the colony, especially when we have got the army ants arriving again, which they most likely will be coming again shortly. So what is nice is, of course, that the food is coming in. However, we also have a lot of waste accumulating, and our ants are battling with that. So what we're going to do is dig out another section to the other side now, where we're also going to have a refuse dump. This is so that they don't have to run the whole time all the way up here. They can also dump some refuse to this side. Again, we are just going to put 2 tracks worth of fast running tiles around our existing tiles, so we don't accidentally put the refuse dump too close to our existing brood chambers. And we're just going to put it a little bit at the back here. And this will hopefully help to get rid of some of that dead fungus accumulating over here, because I believe there is a set amount of space per brood chamber, and some of it will be with food, some of it is empty, some of it is taken up by dead fungus, by waste. And if we have all the space in the brood chambers taken up by fungus, by dead fungus, we don't have space for the living fungus. So we need to have it cleared, and that's why you can see our minimum workers now are taking it to this refuse chamber over here rather than over here. This refuse chamber is most likely, you can see here, all the ants from these 2 chambers here, they're taking the refuse to that chamber over there, and then all the ants from this chamber over here, and from this chamber, I believe, as well. We'll take it back there.
The sound of panicked arthropods running from danger can be heard throughout the Leafcutter, and the ant birds are circling overhead. The swarm has returned.
Okay, so now we've got to get ready. Let's just get most of our ants over here. We have got phorid flies up here as well, unfortunately, but you know what? I think we may just need to count those as acceptable losses in a moment. So yeah, here come the army ants. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get our soldiers to come around. They are not going to collect food. They are just there to fight. Oh my word, there is a big Leafcutter mantis, and look at that, just executing my one little ant there. Okay, thankfully we had our mages coming in as well, and we have got a harvestman as well. Okay, so here we go. We've got the army ants, the mages, the big workers, the soldiers. They are stationed all around the trail of the army ants. So the smaller ones, the smaller ants will be foraging along here, going to collect, going to kill whatever they can, and then carried back to the bivouac, to the living nest of the army ants. And all along there you've got these mages stationed. So they, of course, are looking out for danger, whether those are vertebrates, like birds and stuff coming to potentially feed on the ants, or whether it's invertebrate threats, like our ants. They are going to be stationed around here and hopefully, for them at least, mount an effective defense, so that the more vulnerable workers, which are, you know, not that vulnerable, but they are more vulnerable than these mages, the more vulnerable miner workers can survive. They don't have this threat to their life. They can actually these mages can take care of any threats that the column may face. We're just getting most of our mages at least sorted over here so they can attack this column over here. And then I think we're also going to, let's see how 10 level 1 mages do against these mages. They're doing all right. The army ants are relatively blind, so they won't react from over there. They're just going to react if we are close to them. Look, that one just walked straight past and then realize, oh goodness, there's something bad happening over here. There we go. So now the idea is we're going to get rid of that column there.
Scout to escape. A battalion
Oh.
of soldiers is inbound.
Here come the soldiers. I think we should be able to get rid of them with our media here, but just in case we are sending our mages as well. Yeah, I think we should be able to get rid of them here. And of course our mages over here are still fighting, like it's going out of fashion up there. But I think we've basically gotten rid of these response... yeah, we've gotten rid of these ones that have responded. Now it is time to gather our forces and push into the column again. There we go, all the mages assemble. And if we can now disrupt this foraging trail, it may not be worth the army ants' efforts and resources to come back to this section, at least for now. So we are pushing them back quite nicely here. Unfortunately, the whole time we are feeding here, phorid flies are of course laying eggs. Exactly like that. But we have to do this now, we need the food. So if we can just get the army ants to no longer come along this trail, we can actually potentially come and feed more on this side, wherever there is food available. However, our mages are doing a very good job. We've actually pushed them back quite nicely there. Love that.
The army ants are finding the Atta colony difficult to deal with. Less troublesome prey can be found elsewhere.
Okay, I don't think we're going to invest any further mages into this section. I mean, that was a lost cause right there. We need our numbers. I absolutely love the fact that we've got army ants in this game. And it allows me to talk about something that is actually very, very interesting and sad at the same time. So let's just actually move all these workers. Oh, where can you collect food? Not a lot of food around. I think we're going to get our workers to come and collect here. Because I do think the majority, army ants are basically done. But this raiding by the army ants, they need a very, very large area in order to actually do that. If rainforests become fragmented, they can't roam from where their bivouac is to where they can find food. Because they can't just stay in one place. Unlike our leafcutter ants, they can't stay in one place. Our leafcutter ants will always have some food available. Our leafcutter ants don't harvest everything in the area. There will be some trees that will still be left. They can still harvest them. They don't over-harvest. The army ants also, they don't really over-harvest per se, but they will catch a lot of invertebrates on these trails that they are going out from their bivouac. So there may be very little left in the area that they have now harvested. If they just stay in one area, there's going to be eventually no food left for them, and their colony will collapse. So to prevent that from happening, they are very mobile, they're very nomadic. They raid along this trail this time around, next time they raid a little bit more to the east, next time a little bit more to the south, until they've raided more or less around that nest, and then they move that bivouac altogether. And for a few weeks they will be very, very mobile. Then there will be a bout of having more eggs being laid, and they will be present in one area for 2 or so weeks, and then after that they again become more mobile. So they go through these nomadic stages and the semi-nomadic stages, or more stationary stages. If they didn't do that, then they would simply over-harvest all the food in the area and they would collapse. So I guess in the past, if any of the ants did do that, the colony did just collapse and that species died out. So they know not to do that. Instinctively, they don't do that. But now what's happened with humans and deforestation, we've broken up the forests into little sections. And those sections are not large enough for the army ants that we had here a moment ago to actually go and forage and move around. And the colony doesn't find food and they do end up dying. And you may think, okay, well, sure, that's good for everything else because no more army ants. But that's bad for two reasons. The first one is that the army ants are keeping a lot of the more dominant species in check, allowing some rarer species to survive in the area. So the dominant species are being knocked back continuously. They don't have an opportunity to outcompete the more vulnerable species.
As daylight fades, the army ferries the last of the day's spoils back to the bivouac for the evening feast. They will return at first light.
So tomorrow the army ants will be back once more. Okay, I think I'm going to get my Group 1 to just come and collect some food in this section over here, because there's a lot of food over here. But as I was saying, so the first thing is that the army ants do keep the dominant species in check, or the most abundant species are kept in check. The second thing is that some species, like the ant birds, are extremely dependent on army ants. They don't feed on the army ants. Instead, when the army ant marches along here, a lot of invertebrates are fleeing ahead of those army ants. And the ant birds will be coming to eat the insects and the arachnids and the other invertebrates that flee from the army ants. So they have got a specialized feeding technique that depends upon, oh, that's a big one, that depends upon the army ants being present in an area and actually chasing insects, flushing insects from dense undergrowth. Without those army ants, those ant birds battle and they actually go extinct in the areas that they occur in as well. So the army ants are extremely important for maintaining the ecosystems in which they are. And with deforestation, we tend to think, oh, it's bad for the birds and the mammals and stuff that can't move across the open spaces, things like orangutans and stuff like that. But it also impacts the undergrowth. It also impacts the smaller things in the environment. And oh, that's a big rove beetle. Oh, hello there. You are a big one. So this is like the big evil cousin of the devil's coach horse beetle. This is South American one, and it is also now dead, like everything else that we encounter with our mages. But yeah, as I was saying, very often we think of all these big charismatic species, mammals and birds and stuff, struggling in a deforested environment. And yes, the ant birds, they do struggle. But they struggle not only because they are losing their habitat, but because the species that they rely on for finding food more easily also disappear. And that is really very, very sad. Now I am just going to, I guess, battle everything I encounter. Because there are massive katydids over here, massive spiny devil bush crickets. And you can see that leafcutter ant did just do a taunt over there. Oh,
Ants must defend themselves.
Where is our whip spider? Not there. I'm not sure where it is or was. There it is. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. A whip spiderling. Oh, Heterophrynus batesii. Batesii, that's named after an ecologist Bates, and hetero referring to different. Phrynus, I'm not actually sure what that means. But oh, that is a big one. Okay, so we have to clear. And we don't have to worry because we're not feeding in this section of leaves anymore. So this whip spider will most likely just hang around. Whip spiders, oh, never mind, it is most likely coming along here. There's a little harvestman that is being taken out by our medium worker over here as well. But whip spiders, they have seen or they have found, may actually be semi-social. Not very, very social. Look at that. He was feeling it. And then he was like, there is something right over there. He sensed it with the antennae, and then it started attacking our mages over here. So we are just going to come and try to take this one out. Oh, look at that, swarming on top of him, trying to take him out, trying to really just puncture his thick cuticle, his thick outside covering.
The spider has been eliminated.
There we go.
The ants were fortunate. This specimen was only a few months old. A fully grown adult would not have submitted so easily.
Speaking of which, peekaboo, I see you. There is a massive one, of course, right over there. Oh, yeah, but it was feeling its way around the forest with its antenniform legs, and then we just kind of took him out. Okay, these guys are collecting leaves. Great stuff. These ones at the top here collecting leaves. And our soldiers just kind of hanging around. Our soldiers should be getting ready. So let's just put nice trails around it, and then we can start upgrading them. Because, wow, this takes a lot of food to do. Well, we've got our first level 3 or tier 3 one right now. Oh, that is marvelous. Okay, I see waste is really building up. So what we're going to have to do is get a bunch more minim workers. And we're going to do that. Yes, we're going to get some media over here as well. But I think we need our mages just quickly back in the nest here to clear out this section so we can get a lot of
free reign
minor
of the
workers.
Harvesting grounds is about to be cut short.
Okay.
The swarm has mobilized.
Okay, so the army ants are leaving their bivouac. They are coming our way again shortly. We are just going to clear out the section here. We're just going to go about our business, and then we're going to get our tier 3 ants to really go and destroy them. Push them away out of this area so they do not even try to come back to this section of the forest. Okay, there we go. We're going to just clear this bit as well. Oh, it seems the army ants are also here now. Okay, we're going to get them sorted in a moment. We're just getting rid of this rove beetle right over here. That's in our nest. No, no, no. We don't want you.
Plokionoceros fulgens rove beetle has been disturbed by the ants. Left unchecked, this angry critter could cause some serious damage.
Okay, it has been sorted, so now let's bring our mages. I mean, look at this. They are the major workers of the army ants, just kind of chilling over there, and our trail is running right past them. They will be sensing air movements and stuff like that, but they're not really even picking up our ants moving very, very close to them. I love the fact that the developers have put in the fact that they are quite blind, and they don't pick up a threat from far away. And it has also allowed us to come and disturb them enough over here to actually push them back significantly. They will no longer, well, at least soon, they won't be traveling along this foraging trail.
After taking significant losses in their efforts to subdue the leafcutters, the swarm raiders have been pushed back.
Yes.
The leafcutters must press on to keep them at bay.
Exactly what we are going to do. We have got the advantage now, we're going to press it. We're not going to come under this log here. We're not going to head under this log and get rid of this whip spider over here, this big one. I mean, look at that size of those antenniform legs there. Oh, we're not going to do that. I have taken out that whip spider during the live stream previously. So, yeah, not going to do that again now. But let's actually press our advantage and get rid of the army ants altogether so that we can actually win this mission. What we are going to do is we're going to send all our ants over here as well. Look, sure, they can come and gather food if they have pushed the army ants back, but for now, everybody must come here and everybody must destroy the ants. That's the idea. And in the meantime, we're also going to get some more tier 3 mages. And there we go.
Against impossible odds, the soldiers of the Atta stronghold met the tyrannical intruders with ferocious defiance time and time again. Unable to break their lines and after tremendous losses, the army ant swarm has finally elected to move on. For the leafcutters, the ultimate trial is over.
That is fantastic. Oh, goodness. I am so glad we have officially done that. We're going to accept. And let's just quickly play more, because there is something I also now want to do. Now that we no longer have to worry about the army ants coming along here, we can really go to town on the leaves. And there is something I want to do with, I think let's go for these guys over here. These media that are up here. I'm going to upgrade them.
A few moments later.
Oh,
okay. It seems that I'm now in the third night, which means we've got a bit of a problem.
Spider has detected the presence of the leafcutters.
That.
With supreme prowess, this gargantuan night hunter can knock back, swipe, and lance even the toughest major soldiers. A considerable sustained flow of resistance must be called upon for the colony to stand any chance of dissuading this legend of the Undergrowth.
Yeah, this is an absolute legend. I mean, look at this. This is a fully grown one, and we now have to mount a substantial defense against it. I did not expect this to happen today, but here we go, guys. We are taking on the whip spider, after all. Because I still want to talk about what I wanted to talk about, and we can't talk about it when we are being annihilated by this massive creature. Now, in this case, at this point, it would most likely run away and try to just survive. It would not continue fighting if there was no chance of survival. And there is, in this case, really no chance of survival. We have mounted a proper defense.
The spider has fallen.
Wow.
The colony sacrificed many brave soldiers to pacify this beast. The queen will now work quickly to spawn the replacements.
It does mean, however, that we now also have 2 nice trees over here to come and harvest the leaves from. So we are going to do that. Actually, just group 1 come and collect here. Group 2, you guys can, I think, still collect from over here. Mages, you guys are going to get rid of this harvestman, because this is a big harvestman right over there. Okay, but I'm making progress, guys. I am making progress. Some of my media have been upgraded to tier 3, and that will allow me...
Flies are attempting to lay eggs into the heads of ants on the foraging trail.
Okay, unfortunately, one of our soldiers, I believe, was parasitized. Yeah, there we go. 2 of them, at least. A bunch of them. A whole bunch of them are going to die at some point. But there's another big whip scorpion. Whip spider. Let's, again, just go and take this one out as well. Look, we've defeated the big one. We can defeat you as well. And we'll do it by climbing on top of you and biting like it's going out of fashion. Okay. Also dead. So, of course, while these ones are now parasitized by the fly, they are, technically, the fly larvae are developing inside the body of the Attacephalotus over here will most likely move to the head as well, start eating the brain, as I mentioned last time as well in the last video, and then eventually the head kind of drops off and the larvae will pupate in there. Depends on the species of phorid fly that we are looking at, but in some of them that is what will happen. In others, that won't happen, but I'm not sure what happens really in the case of the phorid flies we have over here. But the ants are still alive, they're just kind of in a zombified state. They're not going to be alive for long. So there we go. Unfortunately, it has dropped down. It's dead now. So there where it says those lumbered with cargo will need assistance. We'll talk about that in a moment. So you see here we do have a whole bunch of phorid flies hanging around this bush over here, the shrubbery over here. And our ants did just move past here. So I guess this is where they are being parasitized then, yes. You see, there comes a little minor worker, and it is possibly going to be parasitized now.
Dawn has broken, and the night critters run for cover. The army ants are on the march.
Yes, so of course now the army ants are still on the march. They're just not on the march in our direction. So they're heading somewhere else. We have pushed them away from this area, so that is brilliant. Now that it is daylight, I'm going to get this group of media to be group 4, and group 4, you guys are going to come to an area where there are phorid flies. Oh look, army ants have arrived again. Okay, fine. You know what, we're going to push them back once more. Huh, this is fascinating. Okay, so if you play long enough, the army ants come back. After we have defeated them, they're back. Oh, there we go, I think we have pushed them back basically once more. So you see now, the army ants have actually gone all around, technically. They've harvested insects or invertebrates all over the place, and now they're back where they have previously harvested, because by this time the prey population would have recovered, allowing them to come and harvest them again. Okay, I don't know where or whether there are any other army ants. I don't see any army ants left, so I guess that is it. Technically there are some over here. Anyway, what I wanted to show you with these little ones, with these media, although I don't think we can see it on them, there would be some minim workers associated with them. And once they have harvested leaves, you should see something interesting. And I did not notice this, so thank you everyone in the comments that actually pointed that out. Appreciate it. It's great to know that there's some interesting behavior like that also happening. Now we do also have a jumping spider that's going to jump in and die. And now, the phorid flies are going to try to lay eggs in our ants, but we've got assistance, because on the leaves here we do have minim workers, and this behavior is known as hitchhiking, when the minim workers are carried around on the ants, on the bigger ants, and when they are carrying leaves around, they also are on the leaves. Now this is not only in response to phorid flies, although that is one of the 3 main hypotheses about why hitchhiking exists in Atta species. And this is not only in Attacephalotus, it seems a lot of Atta species will have this behavior with minims chilling on the leaves. And one of those would be to defend against parasitoids like the phorid flies over here. So the idea is that these minim workers will now be attacking the phorid flies that are trying to lay their eggs in these media, because the media now are tier 3, they now have those minim workers in the game here at least, but in real life a whole bunch of ants would actually be carrying around the minim workers as well. So one potential use is defending against, and we're just going to actually have that happen. We're going to just see whether we can see them fighting. I'm not sure whether we can. The phorid flies are not going to be able to parasitize these ones at all, but one potential use is that yes, they will be defending against the parasitoids like the phorid flies. But another potential use thereof is to get rid of fungi that are on the leaves here. Not the fungus they're trying to cultivate in the nest. Instead, when they're harvesting leaves, there may be some bad fungi on there, and the minim workers are scurrying around on the leaf surface there, trying to clear it. They will be clearing the leaves to make sure that they don't accidentally introduce bad fungi to the nest. So that's a second potential use for hitchhiking, or reason for hitchhiking. A third potential reason for hitchhiking is to prevent a whole bunch of sap dripping down onto the ants. So depending on what they are trying to do, if the minim workers are trying to defend against phorid flies, it seems that they will be carried more towards the top of the leaves. If they are trying to clear fungi on the leaves, they more towards the center. And then if they are trying to get rid of the excess sap that may be dripping out of the leaves, then they will be on the edges of the leaves, on the cut edges of the leaves. So that is quite amazing. Hitchhiking behavior, and I love the fact that they have included that in this game as well. Oh, cool. This is actually the first time I have managed to do this. Actually, I think I have cleared... Yeah, I've cleared the phorid flies from this area, so they're no longer here. No. We can't see it on the map, because there's no big red dot here, but look at that. There is a leaf mimic mantis right over here, and if we look at it... The amazing thing with a lot of these leaf mimicking things is that, yeah, you can be leaf shape and green and you look like a leaf, but look at this. It even mimics the midrib, the central vein of the leaf, and the side veins, and the side veins, and even the damage that may have been done to the leaves by other insects, by herbivorous insects. So this is really, really amazing mimicry on the part of the leaf mimic mantis over here. Oh, that is really awesome. Anyway, okay, so I think in this case we really have done our best. We have defeated everything we possibly could defeat in this map. So I think this is also a good point to end it. So next time on Friday, we'll be back with another episode of An Ecologist Plays Empires of the Undergrowth, where we'll be heading in to the fire ants missions and doing those on challenge mode. And from what I've seen in the comments and on Discord, that is going to be a very, very interesting and challenging mission. So fingers crossed, guys, that things go well for that. So thank you everyone for joining me on our little adventure here. Hope you had a wonderful time. If you've got any questions, do please pop them down into the comments below. And any comments you may also have, feel free to pop them down there. Appreciate you guys being with us. You guys are awesome. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you guys on Friday. Cheers!